There are things that happen in this life that leave people with more questions than answers. Things that seem too strange to explain. Things that make even sensible people stop and ask, how could this have happened? This is one of those stories. It's a true life story, and for the sake of privacy, we shall call the woman involved Ndidi. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any of our true life stories. Ndidi was 30 years old, married, and 2 months pregnant with her first child. At that stage, her pregnancy was not yet visible. Looking at her, nobody would have guessed that she was carrying a child, or so she thought, but maybe, just maybe, some people could already tell. Like many women experiencing pregnancy for the first time, Ndidi had developed unusual cravings. Some days she wanted fruit. Other days, she suddenly lost interest in food she normally enjoyed. But during this particular week, there was one thing she wanted more than anything else: hot akara. The smell alone could make her mouth water. One evening, Ndidi stepped out to get a few things. As she was returning home, she passed a familiar woman sitting beside the roadside and frying akara. The woman was a family friend. She was not a stranger. Their families had known each other for years. She had watched Ndidi grow. They greeted each other whenever they met, and Ndidi never had any reason to be suspicious of her. Ndidi stopped to greet her. "Good evening, Mama." "Ah, Ndidi, good evening, my daughter." They exchanged a few words. Then suddenly the woman asked, "How is your pregnancy?" Ndidi stared at her. "My pregnancy?" The woman smiled. Yes. For a moment, Ndidi was confused. She had not told the woman that she was pregnant. In fact, apart from her husband and a few close family members, very few people knew. And at only 2 months, the pregnancy was not yet showing. Ndidi looked at the woman. "Mama, how do you know that I'm pregnant?" The woman smiled. "My daughter, I know." Then she said, "Our people have a saying, what an elder sees while sitting down, a child may not see, even if the child stand on a tall tree." Ndidi laughed. "Mama, you people and your sayings." The woman smiled but said nothing. After a short conversation, Ndidi said goodbye and continued walking. But she had barely taken a few steps when the woman called her back. "Ndidi," she turned. "Yes, Mama, come." Ndidi walked back. The woman has just removed some fresh akara from the hot oil. Steam was still rising from it. She placed several pieces inside a small waterproof bag and handed it to Ndidi. Ndidi smiled. "Thank you, Mama." She accepted the akara and continued walking. She was happy. She had not told the woman that she had been craving akara, yet the woman had unexpectedly given her the exact thing she wanted. As Ndidi walked home, the smell followed her. The akara was still hot. She was tempted to open the akara and eat some immediately. In fact, she loosened the knot and picked up one piece. But then she looked around. People were passing. A car had slowed nearby. Ndidi suddenly felt embarrassed. She returned the akara to the bag and tied it again. "Let me get home first," she said to herself. When she arrived home, she placed the waterproof on a table in the kitchen. Then she became busy. She arranged the things she had bought. She spoke with her husband. She moved around the house, and before long, she completely forgot about the akara. After 2 hours later, Ndidi suddenly remembered, "Ah, my akara." She hurried back to the kitchen, but before she opened the waterproof, she noticed something strange. The bag did not look the way she remembered. She moved closer. Then she saw something moving inside. Ndidi froze. At first, she thought an insect had entered the bag, but when she looked properly, she realized what she was seeing. Tiny white maggots were crawling over the akara. Not one, not two, several of them. They were moving between the pieces of bean cake that had been fresh and hot only a few hours earlier. Ndidi screamed. Her husband rushed into the kitchen. "What happened?" She pointed at the waterproof. "Look." He bent down. Then his expression changed. "What is this?" "The akara," Ndidi said. "The akara you brought home?" "Yes." He looked at the bag again. "How long has it been here?" "About 2 hours." "2 hours?" "Yes." "It was still hot when she gave it to me." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Ndidi could not stop staring at the bag. Then she remembered how close she had come to eating the akara. She had opened the waterproof. She had picked one piece. She had raised it toward her mouth. If she had not decided to wait until she got home, she would have eaten it. That thought frightened her. She was pregnant. and she had almost eaten food that somehow became covered with maggots only 2 hours after it was given to her. That night, Ndidi could not sleep. She kept asking herself the same questions. How could hot akara become full of maggots in such a short time? Where did they come from? And why had the woman called her back after she had already started walking home? The following day, Ndidi told her mother-in-law what had happened. Her mother-in-law listened carefully. She asked to see the akara. After looking at the bag, she became quiet. Then she asked, Ndidi, are you sure the akara was hot when she gave it to you? Yes. And you did not eat any? No. The older woman nodded slowly. Thank God. Ndidi looked at her. Mama, what do you think happened? The mother-in-law did not answer immediately. She looked at the bag again. Then she said, let us go and ask the woman. They returned to the spot where the woman sold akara. The woman was still there, sitting beside the frying pan. When she saw Ndidi, she smiled. Ah, Ndidi, are you here? But Ndidi's mother-in-law stepped forward. Yesterday, you gave Ndidi some akara. Yes, the woman replied. Ndidi said it was hot when you gave it to her. It was. I removed it from the oil myself. But when she opened the bag at home, it was covered with maggots. The woman stopped moving. For a moment, she stared at Ndidi. Maggots? She asked. Yes, Ndidi's mother-in-law said, and the akara had only been in the house for about 2 hours. The woman slowly lowered the spoon in her hand. That is impossible. Ndidi almost ate it on the road. Her mother-in-law continued. She only decided to wait until she got home. The woman looked at Ndidi again. Her expression changed, but she said nothing. Ndidi stepped forward. Mama, I came back because I wanted to ask what could have happened. The akara was fresh. It was still hot when you gave it to me. The woman shook her head. I don't know. I fried it myself. Then how did the maggots appear inside the Tide waterproof? Ndidi asked. The woman looked down at the frying pan. I cannot explain. Ndidi's mother-in-law watched her for a moment. Then she said, do not try that nonsense with my family again. The woman looked up. Why would you say that? Because I know what you did. The woman did not answer. The oil continued to bubble between them. After a few seconds, Ndidi's mother-in-law turned to her. Let us go. As they walked away, Ndidi looked back. The woman was still standing beside the frying pan, but she was no longer smiling. To this day, Ndidi does not know what truly happened. Perhaps the akara has somehow become contaminated, or perhaps there was something about that incident that nobody could explain. What Ndidi knows is that the akara was hot when it was given to her. She knows that she tied the waterproof after opening it. And she knows that only 2 hours later, the same akara was covered with maggots. She also knows that she almost ate it. That is the part she has never forgotten. Sometimes, the smallest decision can protect us from something we do not understand. Ndidi decided to wait until she got home. And because she waited, she saw what was inside the bag before she ate it. Whether you believe there was a spiritual explanation or not, this story carries a lesson many people were taught from childhood. Be careful about what enters your mouth, and be careful of unfriendly friends. Not every gift is dangerous. Not every act of kindness has a hidden meaning, but wisdom means paying attention. Not accepting everything carelessly simply because it is being offered by someone familiar. Because sometimes the people we trust are the very people we least expect to question. And that is why you should not eat whatever is given to you immediately. Sometimes it is wise to pause, look carefully, and ask yourself, who gave me this and why?